We return to the 1984 U.S. Open Golf Championship, the 84th, in fact. The number always corresponding with the year, not because it started 84 years ago, because there have been hiatuses because of wars. Here is Lee Trevino, the championship leader, on the 10th tee. This one of the classic par threes in the game, 190 years old, 190 yards long. You'll feel it. Look at that card on the front nine for Trevino. 5 birdies, 1 bogey. There it is, the old sort of outside in, fading the ball towards the flagstick. Good shot. It was here that Mark McCumber had a hole-in-one earlier today.
But as you pointed out, the wheels came off. That's a perfect pin position for Trevino when it's in the right side of the green. He can aim at that left-hand bunker as you look down toward the green, set himself there and play his left to right. If the pin's on the right side, look out. Lee will eat your lunch.
Isn't that a gorgeous hole, though?
Yes, when you're on the green, it's just great. There's been many a person down in those bunkers that
had a different adjective.
That's right. This is where strength pays off too. Seve, obviously a long hitter. Not sure what club, 190 yards. The way he's leaning, it looks as though it may be a little right. You can see him.
He didn't like it. Well, the groan indicated bunker. I didn't see it myself. Oh, well, look at that. Way short of the bunker.
Must have ballooned the ball somehow. Rossi said how short he hit it at the ninth hole on his drive, and that, of course, a player like Seve does not miss club by that many clubs.
He just never seems to have gotten the tempo of a U.S. Open Golf Championship, as well as he plays elsewhere.
He can win one. I hear a lot that he can't, but Hal Sutton, a PGA champion now, one over for the day.
See, the sky's clearing a bit. Earlier it looked like rain, and he's gone left.
Of all the bunkers, though, where that pin is, you want to be in the left-hand bunker. Part of the key to wing foot, if you miss, you better miss on the right, on the correct side, away from the flag.
This was a day that began with David Knipe, the terror of the Space Coast Mini Tour down in Florida, shooting at 69 to take the early lead. Then it was Charles Bowling out of Rosemont, PA, the South African Open champion, a young player who must have something to win that tournament. He's still out there on the course 1 under, but then the big names began to float to the top. And look at that, Trevino, Jim Thorpe, not a big name, but always in the U.S. Open he plays well. Led the championship at Marion with a 66 after the first round. Last year tied for 13th in the U.S. Open. Mike Reed once led this championship with a 66, I believe, at the Atlanta Athletic Club in 1976. Remember that?
Sure do. Good player. Got another BYU product. It's very straight hitter, so you've got to consider he's got a better than average chance in an Open.
Mike was still an amateur at the time that he led the U.S. Open, which always pleases the purists of the game occasionally. Here are some of your other familiar names. Jack Nicklaus, very much in the fight, as you can see. He had a 71. Hal Sutton out on the golf course with Trevino and Ballesteros. Hale Irwin, who won the championship on this course 10 years ago. Johnny Miller, who won at Oakmont, remember, with that 63. Bill Rogers, former British Open champion. Nick Faldo, the fine young English player. Ray Floyd, who's won about everything except this. Larry Nelson, the defending champion. All of them very much in contention. Lanny Watkins, many familiar. Peter Jacobson, the young man who's been playing very well lately and won his first on tour a few weeks ago. John Mahaffey, twice PGA champion. Ben Crenshaw, unfortunately, shot 80 today. 10 over par. No reason that we know for it. After winning the Masters, we thought that he might have the rhythm of the majors that he's been seeking for so many years, Dave.
Just had a terrible front nine, Jim. 42, which is our 41.
Yeah.
And you just, it's very hard to come back on a course like this. Now, Seve has some shot here, but he's an excellent short game player. And of course, a lot will depend on his lie down there. How good is it? He's got to pitch up. That's a lot steeper bank that he's pitching over. And immediately where the fringe is, about where Trevino's standing, it's straight downhill and should break quite a bit to the left. Look at him spin that. Is that any good?
Well, you said he was good on the short. But
He is.
His long game is great, and his putting is great.
That's why he's great.
Yeah. Seems to be no flaw in this young man from Spain, except, as I said, in this championship, it's always seemed to be a little off-center, you know. Not today.
Maybe he's listening to too many people, because a lot of people say, oh, he'll never win the Open. He doesn't drive straight enough or whatever. But as long as you can do that, chip and putt, you can take care of some drives that might not go where you want them to.
Now Big Andy Bean at the 11th tee, the 383-yard. That is up on 12 now, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
12th tee, the 535-yard par 5, the only par 5 on the back 9. The big hitters would hope to make birdie, conceivably eagle here, but it's not that easy, is it?
Not that easy. There's a plateau that if you can reach, it's almost like a regular tee. It looks so much out in the middle of the fairway. If you can drive it up on that, you have a very good chance to get home. He may be a little too far left, even though he's in the fairway.
Now, Trevino. What a story. The back bothered him worse and worse and worse after being struck by lightning that time, but suddenly he's back. Here's Jim Thorpe, now one stroke behind Trevino on the 13th tee, the par 3, 212 yards long. 35-year-old touring professional, 9th of 12 children. His brother was out on tour briefly some years ago.
What a nice shot.
And now Trevino. Well, he should make that for the par 3 to remain at 4 under for today's opening round in the U.S. Open. Remember, we'll be with you all 4 days, today and tomorrow on ESPN, Saturday and Sunday, all 18 holes covered on ABC. That's a look at this same hole that they're playing from the tee, zooming in towards the extremely well-bunkered 10th green. I mean, even the trees are a lot bigger than when you were an assistant here.
Absolutely. I stayed the same. Everything else got bigger.
A trio of threes then, all nicely done, but all done in very different fashion on the 10th hole. There you see it, Trevino by 1 over Thorpe, by 2 over Reed, by 3 over the others that you see.